if you're listening to this, you're probably the kind of person who wants to get right to it. You know what I mean? Get the real story fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's cut to the chase.
Okay.
The U.S. just sent B-2 stealth bombers to Diego Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've been looking at all the news and all the strategic analysis of this, and what we really need to understand is why now?
Right.
Why is this happening with this, backdrop of President Trump's ultimatum to Iran about their nuclear program?
It's really fascinating how this one specific piece of military hardware,
Mm-hmm.
the B-2, is suddenly, in this very particular spot on the map.
Yeah.
Diego Garcia, right at the moment when things are getting very tense between the U.S. and Iran.
Right, yeah. It feels significant.
It's a huge statement, yeah.
Okay, so B-2s to Diego Garcia. This isn't just like a routine troop rotation or something.
No.
This feels like a very deliberate message.
Think of it this way. The B-2 is not just like adding another plane to the chessboard.
Right.
It's bringing in, a piece with very unique capabilities, advanced stealth capabilities.
Right.
This thing can evade really sophisticated radar systems.
Yeah.
And that signals a potential for really targeted operations, with very little warning. It's a much different kind of message than sending conventional aircraft.
Right. And Diego Garcia,
Yeah.
it seems like every time there's some kind of strategic issue in that part of the world, Diego Garcia comes up.
Right.
What is it about this little British territory that makes it so important in this whole thing with Iran?
It's kind of a perfect storm of geography and infrastructure.
Okay.
The terrain is ideal for bomber operations, very flat.
Yeah.
And its location about 2,400 miles from southern Iran.
Okay.
That puts it at a distance that makes it much more difficult for Iran to retaliate.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you have the already established U.S. military facilities there,
Yeah.
Which provide all the logistical support and intelligence capabilities that you would need for an operation like this.
Right. So it's like a well-equipped, secure launch pad for an aircraft that's designed to be pretty much undetectable.
Right.
That's a powerful combination.
It is.
So let's really dig into the B-2 for a minute.
Okay.
What makes this aircraft so significant? I mean, we hear stealth bomber. We kind of think we know what that means, but what does it really mean?
The B-2 stealth is not just about avoiding radar.
Right.
It's designed to minimize its signature across all sorts of detection methods.
Oh, wow.
And then you add to that its ability to carry a lot of firepower, up to 20 tons of ordnance.
Wow.
Including really precise munitions, designed to hit targets that are heavily defended.
Okay.
This is not a bluff.
Right.
It suggests that they're very serious and have the capability for decisive strikes.
Right. And all of this is happening right after President Trump gave that, really strong message to Iran about a new nuclear deal.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remind us what exactly was in that ultimatum?
Well, basically, President Trump gave Iran 2 months.
2 months.
2 months to agree to a new nuclear deal.
Okay.
And the language he used was very, very strong.
Yeah.
In an interview he did with NBC, he actually said, that if Iran doesn't agree to a new deal,
Yeah.
they could face military action unlike anything they've ever seen before.
Right.
So, very strong words.
Very strong. And so how has Iran responded to this, this direct pressure from the U.S.?
Well, their leadership has been defiant, particularly Ayatollah Khamenei.
Okay.
He said that any aggression from the U.S. will be met with a really forceful response.
Oh, wow.
So, no backing down there.
Yeah.
They've rejected direct talks with the U.S.,
Okay.
but there have been hints that they might be open to indirect negotiations.
Interesting.
So, they're not just,
I know.
completely shutting the door,
Right.
but they're also making it clear that they're not going to be bullied.
Right. That's a tough situation.
It is.
This isn't the first time we've seen bombers deployed to Diego Garcia when it comes to Iran, is it?
No, you're right. Back
Yeah.
in January 2020,
Yeah.
after the U.S. killed General Soleimani,
Right.
they sent B-52 bombers to
Ah.
Diego Garcia. And so that really shows how strategically important this island has always been,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the U.S., showing that it's serious about this region.
Yeah.
However, the B-2 is a much more advanced aircraft.
Okay.
So it suggests that maybe the U.S. is considering something different this time,
Right.
a different type of operation.
So if we take a step back and look at the bigger picture here,
Right.
this feels like it's about more than just sending a message to Tehran.
Absolutely.
What's really going on here?
Well, on the one hand, the U.S. is trying to deter Iran from taking any aggressive actions.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, they're trying to force Iran back to the negotiating table for a new nuclear deal.
Okay.
But when you have this very visible military buildup like this,
Yeah.
it increases the risk of miscalculation. One wrong move, and things could escalate very quickly.
Right.
And the international community is very aware of this.
Yeah.
They're watching very closely, and they're really hoping that diplomacy can win out.
Yeah, nobody wants to see another conflict in that part of the world.
Definitely not.
So we've got stealth bombers in position,
Right.
a very direct ultimatum from the U.S.,
Mm,
and a defiant response from Iran.
yeah.
This is a very tense situation.
It is the combination of, a very strategic asset
Yeah,
in a very specific location.
right.
And all this really strong rhetoric from both sides,
Yeah.
it creates a situation where the margin for error is extremely small.
It's like everyone's walking on eggshells.
Exactly.
As you're listening to all of this, think about this.
Okay.
How might the presence of these really advanced aircraft
Yeah.
in such a strategic location,
Right.
how might that subtly change the way other countries in the region are thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Even the countries that aren't directly involved in this whole U.S.-Iran thing.
Right.
What kind of ripples might this send through the region?
It's a good question. A really good question.
It's something to think about.
It is.
And we'll leave it there for today.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks.